We've been playing GTA 4 multiplayer over the last 2 months, and this video is going to be showing some of the gameplay over that time. And we've also been creating and even revamping custom game modes to play. I'll explain this further in a second. For a bit of backstory, Rob released a guide to getting GTA V set up properly for multiplayer. And after that point, the multiplayer was, how some people would put it, revived. From constantly seeing recognizable faces, which was around 7 to 10 player lobbies daily, to now constantly seeing newcomers, which is now 20 or more players daily, which this is around 2 PM EST or 7 PM UK time. Around a month or so after that multiplayer guide from Rob was released, GTA Connected was fixed to support GTA V properly. It'd been supporting GTA V for a while even before that video, but I had heard it was like really glitchy, it wasn't even playable. And if you don't know, GTA Connected is a multiplayer modification for multiple GTA games. It's free and it's really easy to set up. Me, Rob, and Joshua Frame all have easy to digest videos to get your game and multiplayer running properly to play with us. It's kind of glitchy as of December 2020, but even then, it's miles better than Games of Wonders Live, which is what we used before. There's also alternatives such as Citizen IV and IVMP, but IVMP doesn't feature NPCs, which automatically makes it garbage, and Citizen IV was kind of hard to set up for people, and even for me, it completely crashed my computer when I was installing it. This video is going to be talking about what we're doing with multiplayer, and pretty much just a big old montage of the best games I've personally recorded. You can head to my second channel for full games and even some small montages of the games that have been taking place. And if you want more of that sort of content, there is loads of YouTube channels that do this right now, which are Yellow Briefs, which he even has a series of hidden places that you most likely don't know about, which that name isn't even a joke. I have 1.4 thousand hours on Steam alone of this game, and I didn't know about a lot of these. And then there's North Hustler, who uploads the second most frequently out of the ones mentioned here. And then there's City Destroyer 15, which he doesn't really have too much to watch, but it's still there if you want to see it. And then there's Mystical Main, who uploads custom game mode content, which again I'll talk about that soon, and he also uploads the most frequently. And then the final one is ERT, which is Rob's other channel. Links for all of these channels will be in the description. Also, we've got a really nice Discord server running at the moment. It's called the IV Online Club, which it has a full explanation of the custom game modes that I'm going to be showing here, but I'll give a quick explanation for the custom game modes showcased in this video. The first one is Busted. This is the most popular one from my experience. Basically, there is one crook versus a bunch of cops behind that crook. No weapons can be used, and the crook has to use a medium range vehicle in terms of the speed. So they can't just spawn in a furnace, go on a highway, and then just keep driving, and then boom, they win. But if the crook's car gets stuck for around 10 seconds, then he'll be busted. Another way they can lose is if the vehicle dies. And the crook has two options. He can either have his blip and name shown on screen for the cops to see, or he can keep his blip and name hidden. If his blip is hidden, then they have to get away from the cops, and if the cops lose visual on the crook gets 2 minutes, and after those 2 minutes, assuming the cops haven't found him, the crook wins. If they have the blip shown, then all they gotta do is get out of the expanded radar zone of the cops. Also, I should mention, with blips enabled, helicopters aren't allowed because obviously the helicopter can stay on them really easy. Another thing I should mention is that Busted wasn't created by this community. There's been tons of communities back in like 2013 who have used this game mode before, but we've come in 2020 to revamp this game mode, and now with even more expanded mods, we can have a blipless version of Busted using the Zilliqa trainer. Blipless has been a thing though, but they had overhead blips, which means it doesn't show on your radar, but it does show above the vehicle, which in my opinion kind of sucks. The best part about this blipless thing is that you can actually pretend to be a civilian driving around, which is good against helicopters. And the only other game mode shown in this video is an experimental one as of now, and I just like to call it Hitman. Even though it's being experimented, it's probably my favorite mode so far. Basically, there's a hitman or hitmen, if there's a lot of people playing, that have to kill a single target, and this target can have player bodyguards. The hitmen can use anything they want to get the kill, assuming it's not too cheaty. For example, they can give themselves as NPC bodyguards from a mod menu, but they can't use health loop or some pussy shit like that. The rules are still being experimented with, but as of now, if there's only one hitman, he can kill the target's bodyguards as well as the target, but if it's multiple hitmen, they cannot kill the target's bodyguards and they can only kill the target. The target and their bodyguards can't just kill random pedestrians in the street as well, because the hitman may want to blend in with the pedestrians or something. Also, the hitmen have to disable their blips, otherwise, I mean, where's the element of surprise in that? Hopefully you understand these game modes. Now, let's just enjoy some gameplay. This first clip is from my first ever busted game. I mean, I think it was my first, but either way, I used a ruiner and the date of this busted was in November 16th, 2020. There's about 7 cops behind me, and this was before we used blipless, so they can see my blip, and all I have to do is get out of the expanded radar zone. The first thing I decided to do is use a strat in my Fact Strats Glitches series, which basically you can easily glide off the side of this bridge part and get on the train tracks and then squeeze through these little train track hole things. I don't know what the fuck they're called. So I did that, and then you can see this guy, he blatantly cheats. All you have to do is look at the minimap. I've talked to this guy since, and he seems pretty disappointed in himself about it, so no hate goes towards him. Either way, I don't think it really matters, and I don't think I would have gotten away. I've drive down these stairs and go up this hill shortcut, and then I smash into this invisible collision block. After that, I go ahead and make my way towards the airport. And since my vehicle is the beast-ass ruiner, I figured that this is probably the easiest way to lose the cops. For some reason, I take this really risky sand area. It's kind of like the secret way to get in the airport. But going down that area, I almost flip from something that is like seemingly invisible. Even watching this back, I can't really see what flipped me, but whatever. I then have a stroke and ask if I can heal myself, which if you don't know, you can heal your vehicles by picking up a health pack. This, in my opinion, adds a whole new skill layer to this game mode. Also, after I ask that, you can see this guy obviously cheat again on the radar. It's pretty subtle, but you can tell he's boosting himself. It's either that or it was just a huge, convenient lag spike. So I kept going down this airfield and then accused this guy of cheating after I got rammed, and he question marks me. He actually question marked me, even though earlier you can just watch the minimap and tell that he was like air braking or some shit. Either way, I kept going down the airfield and then I rammed this cop, and then I took this ramp, and then I grabbed this health pack in probably the worst way I could have in this situation. After that, I got like easily the most lucky epic movie type shit I've ever seen in my life. It's kind of hard to see, but I think I know what happened here. This blue cop car rammed me, and then another guy rammed behind me, and then the guy that rammed behind me kind of like lagged sideways, which pushed me and this staircase thing towards the airfield, and then I somehow managed to land on my wheels. After that, I just said fuck this and went out of the airport and took the highway, and then I took the hidden entrance back into the airport, which the reason why I did that is because I got a health pack, and most people don't know about this, so they can crash. Which, speaking of, I had one guy following me, which was a police patriot, but he got stuck on some shit because he went way too far to the right. From that point, I got away and won, and I think this goes without saying, but this pretty much had no skill involved from my part, and that random ass lag spike or whatever that was before saved me. Also, I want to clarify that there is definitely not a lot of cheaters who play with us. If we ever see a cheater, a trusted player is most likely host, and we kick them immediately, and now we can get the IPs of these people and ban them. Now I'm gonna go ahead and show a Hitman game, and this happened December 23rd, 2020. Rob was the hitman and I was a bodyguard for the target, and the target was Elo. He camped in this spooky dark spot, which is also in Yellow Brief series I mentioned earlier, and it's behind the bar counter. I camped the front entrance with a shotgun, and then Rob sent a few grenades my way, which was pretty much only used as a distraction, I think, because later on I got shot, and I still don't know who shot me, and I just assume it was one of my teammates, maybe by accident. So I went back to aiming at the front door, and then I kept hearing shooting again, and I assumed for like a second that I was my teammate, and then I turn around and I see Rob gunning down some of my bodyguards. So I crouched down and used a civilian as a bullet shield, and I kept pushing towards that door because I was pretty certain that he didn't leave yet. So I just sat at the door with my shotgun for a little bit, assuming he was sitting in the lap dance room trying to like bore me away or something. Or maybe I'll be second guessing myself and run back towards the other door or something like that. A few seconds later, boom, suddenly I hear an MP5 going off, and then I see Rob sprayed Elo in my kill feed. Which something else you have to do as Hitman is that you have to get away. It's kind of hard to see it, but you can see Rob running through the door, so there was no way I was going to catch him. So yeah, Rob easily won that round in probably the most sneaky way possible, and it was pretty epic. This next and final game I'll show is going to be me as Hitman, Elo as the target, and Fox and Rob as bodyguards. This one also happened December 23rd, 2020. This one will also be a little less trimmed up because I think it's best to watch this with a little bit more suspense. My idea is to pretend to be a cop, drive up to them, and then blast Elo and drive away. So I start chasing them on this bridge, but then they go on the other side of the bridge and I got panicked or some shit and I just decided to rush them. I have no clue why I did that, but either way, Fox decided to teleport right as I was gonna shoot Elo and fucked up my shot. I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have even killed Elo if he didn't TP, but I just find it kind of funny that he TP'd at the exact time I was trying to shoot. Either way, it's kind of more entertaining when it's dragged out in my opinion. Anyway, they just drove up north and camped at this little junkyard area. I decided to drive away because I was in a pretty bad position and I could have died very easily here. I drove up the road and bailed from my vehicle, and then I ran over there on foot trying to ambush Elo. From this point, I think I'm just gonna let the gameplay speak for itself. It had kind of an anticlimactic ending, but I think it still shows the possibilities of GTA Connected and what Hitman can become. Also, something I forgot to mention is that file sharing is going to be a thing on GTA Connected, so servers can choose files that they want the players to use. For example, the PC Annihilator is pretty overpowered. I mean, one bullet does literally 1,000 damage, so we're probably going to be using the console Annihilator. So that in of itself also opens up another million possibilities for for GTA Connected. Anyway, originally this video was gonna be like a 50-minute sort of long video, just full of gameplay and stuff, but I think that would be kind of boring and unnecessary. Alright, I'm just gonna end the video here. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you didn't, leave a dislike. And if you aren't playing GTA Connected already, I really think you should. The community is really fun, and yeah.